This Champions League Matchday 5 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code PLGP to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sports book available in 45 states. Download the Rebet app and use the code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, definitely, the 25th of November. And we are here to have a look around the Premier League weekend, which is 9/10 of the way completed. And Champions League Matchday 5 will take place on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Lots going on. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, we got matching jumpers on. How you doing?
We have, aye. Good afternoon. You all right? It's nice and early, this one. I thought nice early might catch a few people out. But there's a few of the regulars in and a couple of less regulars in the chat. So good to see people getting involved since it's an early.
Yeah, well, I've been away this weekend. More of that to come in a minute. I was in Scotland, so didn't get back till late. And then obviously we normally go Monday night. I'm going to the match tonight. I'm going to Newcastle v West Ham, so probably won't get back till between 10 and 11. And Champions League kicks off early on Tuesday, so we wanted to get it out the way. So yeah, a little bit of a Monday show. I assume you're at work, man. Are you at work when you're doing this?
I'm taking the afternoon off as it happens.
Okay.
I did.
Of course you have.
I was working this morning. I genuinely have put leave. So if anyone from work is tuning in, they will know that I'm not just skiving doing podcasts. I have actually taken some time off. Took some time off to go. Went down to the farm shop to get some meat to make a nice roast dinner. So I'm got a joint of pork on the go, and I didn't have my Sunday dinner yesterday. I planned to have a Sunday roast, and then got embroiled in a family game of Scrabble. And by the time it finished, it was an absolute epic. And by the time it finished, the shops were shut, so I'd missed out on getting everything I needed. So it's a Monday roast today instead of a Sunday.
I won.
I got beat. It's absolute scam.
That's not what I asked. I asked you. Well, I had you priced up at 16 to 1. I've tried to have a conversation with you. You know about 7 words.
I'm good at Scrabble. Helen won in controversial circumstances. Like, she took a punt on one of these stupid 2-letter words that isn't really a word. So the word was Z-E. Any idea?
What word?
Z-E.
Oh, yeah, Z.
So she stuck that on a triple word score, and then there was other words coming off it, and it was like a 60-pointer. It was an absolute scam. I was furious.
She scammed you, Barry.
Absolute
Fantastic.
Scam. We said at the beginning, are we playing all these stupid 2-letter words or not? And I said, no, nothing stupid. But then when it gets down to the serious bit,
stupid or otherwise, Barry, there's words and there's not words. You can't.
It's not a word.
What sort of qualifier is stupid? Like,
oh man,
there's only 2 things. It's fairly black and white, Baz.
If nobody knows what it is, then it's stupid, isn't
it? Maybe, Barry, you're stupid. Did you ever think of
that? Definitely not.
It's a possibility. Well, I haven't done much today because I was driving around Scotland with the snow going sideways for the entire weekend, and it tires you out, Baz, doesn't it? All of that. I had a lovely time. Scotland never disappoints. I don't know how familiar everyone is with Scotland or not, but it's a lovely place to drive around. It's very beautiful. There's nobody there. It's empty. There's nothing there at all. I had a good time at the party. I had a few beers. I had lots of beers bought for me. Talking to Sunday lunch, some bloke asked me if I wanted to go to his for Sunday lunch before I left yesterday. At the party on Saturday night, this was. Because, at the end of a party, everyone's best mates when they've had a few beers. So, what time are you heading off tomorrow? I was like, oh, I'll get up, pack the van, have me break. Come round for Sunday lunch. So Darren was inviting me round to his for Sunday lunch. I didn't go, Barry. But I did go to Greg's. You know, last time I went to Annan, we talked about Scottish bakeries. They've got all different things in Scottish Greg's, Baz. Did you know this?
I didn't know that, no.
Oh, mate, it was revelatory. They've got the Scotch pie, obviously. They've got the haggis pie. But they've got different cakes as well. They've got a filled donut, which was basically like a chocolate donut sliced in half, full of cream, sandwich style. And like a pineapple, I don't know what it was called. Looked like a peach melba, you know, with the icing and the cream, the dome thing. Pineapple. Yeah, different things in Scottish Greggs. So that was that. It took forever to drive back. I couldn't get back. I stopped
I did
at the
think about you when I looked at the fixtures on Saturday and realised the whole of Scotland was cancelled due to bad weather. I did think I didn't envy you driving to Forfar. Like.
Forfar was called off. They were meant to be at home to Peterhead. So I did consider it because I was getting in about 2:30. And I thought, shall I go and see Forfar? But luckily it was called off. They were meant to be playing Peterhead. That's home.
Going back to the Scrabble thing, because Slick Rick asked, or Lee asked, did I not use AI to cheat at Scrabble? I didn't.
Yes.
And Slick Rick asked me to ask AI which words are stupid in Scrabble. So I did. And AI believes there are stupid words. It says stupid in Scrabble terms refers to words that are odd, obscure, or ridiculously specific, yet are still allowed in the game. Here are some examples. QI, ZA, and AA. So ZE didn't come up, which would have made my day if it had put that in there. But yeah, AI agrees with me. There are some words in Scrabble that are just stupid.
Well, I stopped at the Falkirk Kelpies on the way back. Have you seen the Kelpies, Baz? Unbelievable, The Kelpies. I'll send you a photo. And the other thing that was worth noticing was party finished about 10:30. I hung around for a bit and had another pint with a few of the people. And now I'm back to my room to watch Match of the Day. There's the Kelpies, Baz. Sent me a photo. And guess what? Scottish Match of the Day. I forgot about that. What a load of shit. So I had a rum and ginger. I had some snacks. I got myself tucked up in bed, put the telly on, expected all the drama of the Premier League to be unfolding. And I was subject to St Johnstone v Kilmarnock. So I was grossly disappointed. Actual Match of the Day started at midnight, and I was a bit tired and emotional then from all the booze. So I put myself to sleep. But Scottish Match of the Day, but
yeah, lovely. I wouldn't entertain that. I'd have just turned it over.
That was rubbish. Right, okay then. Serial, first in, how you doing? Ramazan, new name to me, welcome along. Ian's changed his profile pic, looking good. Lee probably should be working. Pete Spicks, welcome. Slick Rick's here as well. Yeah, we weren't expecting many people in the live because it is an unusual time. And frankly, everyone should be doing other stuff. I've had a daytime telly-a-thon today, Baz. Classic, 2 episodes of Frasier, 2 episodes of Catfish. But then I've just watched the old Scam Interceptors. Oh, that's a roller coaster. That's a great game for gambling on. You can put, if you went 10-11 the scammer, 10-11 the poor old bloke who's getting scammed every day. I reckon it's a good game. Like, so the scammer won today. The scammer landed the odds, but it's dead exciting. They're trying to intercept it before he transferred 1,500 quid to them to some Indian call centre. That was the end of that. So that's that. I know I've got the snooker on. You can't wax Saturday afternoon snooker. Daytime, weekday afternoon snooker is one of the all-time great things, especially if you're going to have a kick. So we're going to briefly touch on the Premier League weekend that has just finished. If you haven't downloaded the SGPN app, you're very much missing out. The app gives access to all podcasts on the network. All the content on the app is completely free. Type in SGPN in your app store to download it today. Picks-wise, I'm 5 for 9 so far, Baz. We've got Newcastle West Ham tonight. I took Newcastle on the handicap. But 5 for 9, sitting on 12.1 units for the 9 stake. So I'm absolutely happy with that. Brighton as an underdog, 2-1, was a good pick. Made closer than it should have been with a red card, actually. I'll tell you what, do you know, I've often talked about the lucky start or the unlucky start of your weekend. When you get a feeling early on. I had Chelsea to win and both teams to score. And Leicester rolling a 96-minute penalty to get me off to a winning start. And you feel great about the weekend after that. You think, right, here we go. Did you have Chelsea to win 1-0?
I had Chelsea handicap.
There you go. So it's just one of those things. So when he rolled that penalty in, I had a feeling things were going to go okay, and they did. Brighton as a dog. My lock was Fulham and Wolves, both over 2.5 on both teams to score, which was just a giveaway. Was done. No time at all. It was never, ever a sweat. My prop hit, the Villa game, I couldn't work out, but I took Ollie Watkins shots on target. That was done in the first half. The losers I had were the Arsenal unders, 86 minutes. I wasn't far away. And the Liverpool team total, which you had the over, I had the under, 2.5. I think either of us could have won. You did win. And I think that was about it, really. I'll tell you what stitched me up, Baz. Me anytime goal scorer treble, Nicholas Jackson, Bosch. My third one is Alexander Isak tonight, but I've been denied the big excitement. Paisley and Delap somehow didn't kick it in the goal when he had two. One in particular, just roll it in the corner. Yeah. I know it's an astonishing save from Onana, but just roll it in the corner, and he kicked it as hard as he could, and it pinged off his bicep and went to safety. So Delap missed 2 sitters. The second one wasn't a sitter. The second one was quite well manufactured. But I would be on Isaac for the steak and Stilton tonight, but I'm not. And happy to fade Man United. The players are still rubbish. I think what we found out about that is it's going to be a slow burner for Amarin if he's capable of doing anything. Because to pick a team that's still got Casemiro, Ericsson, Johnny Evans, some young players who have hit and miss, playing a system, they were lucky not to get beat. They really, really were. So yeah, picks-wise, that was me, Baz. We'll get on the eye catchers in a minute. How were your picks?
So I was 4 out of 9, but that doesn't really tell the full story. I feel like I was a lot better than that because a lot of the exotic stuff went well for me. So the good stuff for me was fading Villa. It was a bit of a hunch. I thought Palace would get something, so I took Palace on a handicap. That came good. Taking Wolves as an underdog against Fulham as my main pick on that game, but also put Wolves out as an underdog. My underdog of the week was 4-1 Wolves against Fulham, which was nice. And coasted in the end. Brighton wasn't as bold as you to take them to win. I took the team total, so a nice no sweat on that one. And then Liverpool team total for me. Those were the 4 winners, but then I hit the lock. The lock was the Liverpool 3 goals. The underdog was Wolves. Jackson was my scorer, 5-1 first scorer, 6-4 anytime I think it was. The ladder, can't really claim it as a win, but it wasn't a loser. It hit the first rung. We had Bruno Fernandes shots. He hit the 3. So we got there. We just didn't get up the ladder. But then a whisker away on a few things. So I was unlucky with the Chelsea late penalty, cost me. The Arsenal late goal cost me. And we bet in the Man United game. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals. I don't know how that didn't catch.
Which game?
Man United Ipswich.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
1-1, and there was chances. And the other thing that was a whisker away was my stake in Stilton. I got 45-1. 3 underdogs away from home. It was Brighton, it was Wolves, and it was Brentford was the last one. And obviously Brentford go down to 10 men, and that was pretty much it. Scuppered, but a 0-0. So 1 Brentford goal away from hitting the big acca at 45-1. But yeah, lots of good stuff. As I say, the stuff that missed was a little unfortunate, I felt. But on the right side of some of the sort of, it's nice when the sort of gambles come off. So fading teams like Villa at home, Fulham at home and stuff like that. Getting that right felt good. So let's hope for a finish off with another winner tonight.
We've got more of our live community surprised by the early start. Joe Bamber. I'm off to the match later on, Joe, so we couldn't go tonight. And 6:45 a.m. James Mafia is up and about. A bit of breakfast with Barry. It's got a nice ring to it. So welcome along, James. Nice to have you. Eye catchers to follow. Let me tell you first about our old/new sponsor, mybookie.ag. SGPN started out with MyBookie, and now we're back together again. Check out the new and improved website. Really good on mobile, that one, actually. Props for every game, the live dealer casino, early cash out. Bet that we like tonight on MyBookie is the Alexander Isak to score or assist. 10 out of his last 12 games, that would have cashed. Round about -140 tonight. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a brand new social sports book available in 45 states. A massive market of betting opportunities available on Rebet. It's easy to use and great for people in states where traditional sports books may be restricted. Download Rebet in the App Store. Use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. All right, catches for me, Barry. I think you have to start with Manchester City. All I've written next to my note here is WTF. Serial saying that losing streak's been brewing for 5 years. But, I mean, 5 in a row. And so that game, I'd got to Scotland. I'd set my gear up, so I was having a little disco nap before I went down. And then just checking the notifications, 0-1, 0-2, 0-3. So I wasn't watching it or listening to it. Just astonishing, like. Spurs, I've also put in brackets Spurs with an exclamation mark because we did say on Thursday night, what are you meant to do with Tottenham? Like, insane, absolutely insane. I don't know what to say. Obviously, the Rodri thing, but have you got any idea, Baz? What do you do with it? Why? What's going on?
I don't know. You certainly stay away from them for a while, though. I know that much. Like you, I didn't watch it. I was also driving. I was heading down to Birmingham on Saturday afternoon for a gig, and yeah, I set off. It was 0-0 and just kicking off. And then I get there and I check my phone, 4-0. Couldn't believe it. Fantasy football, I dropped Pedro Porro and Brennan Johnson to the bench. I looked a good decision when I saw Brennan Johnson was actually benched by Spurs. But obviously they both ended up getting returns as well. So that was disappointing. But yeah, astonishing result. As you say, with Spurs, everything's on the table every week. And that's the reason I stuck with Man City is because although they'd lost 4 in a row, they'd all been away from home. They hadn't lost at home for 2 years. Like, to lose in such fashion is absolutely astonishing. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about the picks earlier. Didn't cover the fact that I did back Man City, which was obviously nowhere near.
City. Well, if people won anything on the Tottenham game, you would have been something like over 3.5 goals or something stupid like that. You would have to stumble into a win, I think. That's what Man City to be winning at half time. So I was just laughing when they were 2-0 down.
You know, he was without Romero, without Van der Ven. So you see Davies and Dragusin starting at centre back. He made a change bringing Maddison back in, which looked to be a bit of a master stroke because Maddison hasn't been in favour. And then suddenly he drops Brennan Johnson, who's playing well, brings Maddison in. So, yeah, you've got to give credit to Spurs for doing what they did. And as I say, I think, well, I say you've got to fade Man City. But then I see them at 2-1 to beat Liverpool at the weekend, and I'm already tempted. 2-1 Man City is a nuts price. Liverpool nearly lost to Southampton, man. But yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. At the moment, I've certainly dodged City for the midweek game.
Second up, eye-catcher for me is Leicester City. Not because they did anything eye-catching at the weekend. They didn't play very well to start with. They started playing okay when they were 2-0 down, which was a bit silly, really. But I just didn't expect Steve Cooper to get sacked at all. Leicester have been competitive. They look like they've been capable of scoring goals. They look like they're capable of winning the odd game. It really annoyed me because I spent from last Tuesday filling in Lopetegui, didn't I? Every time I had a little winner, I ended up with about £39 or something stupid online. And I was really confident as well at that. I thought, we're going to stuff them tonight. He could be sacked by tomorrow. And I saw that. I was like, for fuck's sake. Just got no value for my money at all. I just finished putting it all on and Cooper got sacked. I just don't know what they meant. What did they expect? Like, were they 15th in the league and doing all right? What was the alternative? But, yeah.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I didn't see that coming at all. Very, very strange one. In terms of other stuff for the weekend, I thought Liverpool were fairly fortunate. Southampton played all right. Are you seeing the highlights from that game?
Yes.
The penalty. Like,
which one?
I thought we'd stop giving penalties where it bounces off your body onto your arm. And yet nobody
talked about it. It doesn't bounce off his arm.
It does. It bounces off his chest and his arm's there.
Yeah,
and if you slow it down, if you slow it down 10 times, it looks like he's moved his arm. But in real time,
slow it down because the referee spotted it first time.
I didn't like it. I thought it was a bit soft. You wouldn't I thought it was a bit soft. I don't like it when it bounces off him. But Yeah, I thought Southampton actually gave a good account of themselves, really. But you just always felt Liverpool had enough time. You felt they were going to come back into it. I did enjoy the Man United game. Didn't enjoy the first 80 seconds. I just really got fed up with the whole, like the big story around Amorim beforehand, and like it was as if there was just going to be some miracle turnaround. And then when they score like they did in the first minute, you think, oh no, don't do this. Because you could already hear the Man United Twitter fans firing up their keyboards, telling us Rashford's going to win the Ballon d'Or under Amorim and all this lot. So I was pleased it unravelled, and pleased to hear Amorim at the end saying it's going to be a long journey. There's going to be a lot of pain before we get anywhere with this. So yeah, Man United fans, or certainly Twitter Man United fans, needed put back in their box a little bit. So I was glad.
Because the warm-up was the greatest warm-up anyone's ever fucking done. It was a World Championship, 10 Premier League trophies in a row warm-up. Like, look at this warm-up. Whoa, he's headed it over there. Go on, the lads. It was ridiculous, Barry. Yeah, it was making my teeth itch. I was really annoyed when they scored. I just got in the house from that, 6-hour drive, so I was tired and teasy. And I put it on, and they scored after 80 seconds, and I thought, oh, fuck this. Actually, then, Ipswich probably could have beat them. Man United were my final eye catcher. The one thing I did like, we talked in the week, Baz, that was a really busy period coming up between now and New Year. But I like this weekend. It got me excited because I think it's going to be a fun time. There's loads of teams that can beat other teams. So even the teams like Tottenham and Brighton, maybe Newcastle, that aren't going to be top four, that aren't going to win it, they can beat anyone in this league. And that makes it exciting because you're not going to get Liverpool, City, Arsenal every week. You can't just treble them all up at 1 to 3 because someone's going to get rolled over.
Yeah, I was thinking the same this week, but like you say, when you look at the Villa dropping points, it's those teams in behind as well, Malcolm, are now dropping points. The likes of Chelsea have dropped points, Villa, Brighton, Newcastle, Spurs, you can't rely on anyone massively from one weakness. But as you say, even Liverpool winning, fair enough, but Southampton able to give them a game was reassuring for the rest of the league that, people still have a go at those teams.
The only slightly worry at the top is you just don't want Liverpool to get too far ahead. Was it 8 points now?
If they win this weekend, that's almost done and dusted, isn't it? It's almost insurmountable.
So you don't want them to get too far in. I'm sure Liverpool fans do, but just for the competitive fairness, because the whole thing does look fun. And the same at the bottom end. The Palace and Wolves look like they've turned a little corner. But Ipswich look like they're going to make a fist of it. I know I slightly tongue-in-cheek took them at 80-1 to finish in the top half. But they look like they've got games in them. Everton remain absolute dog shit. Brentford are going to regress a little bit as well. So hopefully we'll get some sort of relegation fight as well, because we didn't get one last year. Those 3 teams went down bloodlessly, completely. So hopefully, I did enjoy the weekend, and it did get me thinking the next 5 or 6 weeks are going to be quite exciting. I think, Barry, that is all my news and notes for the weekend. You got anything else?
Nope. No?
No.
No was the answer. 3 times I said no.
I could see you saying no and shaking your head. I just couldn't hear you. Say no. Okay, then. Well, I'll read out this lovely advertising thing, and then we'll make some Champions League picks. What it says is, Barry, Underdog Pick'em. It's got one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR. You can use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. Use our code PLGP to get a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code PLGP. And SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI. Barry loves that. Powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard that Rhythm have built for you. You can track props in the Rhythm app. There's NFL picks, NFL props, college football, college basketball, and NBA. Rhythm have got it all. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. So, Baz, I've made 4 picks. Not on purpose. I've ended up with 3 of the Premier League teams in my handicap as well. It's not something I've done regularly when we've done Champions League shows. The Champions League shows have actually been all right. I think we've done quite well. But I've ended up with 3 of the 4 Premier League teams in my handicaps. As always, we haven't discussed what games we've done and what picks we've got on them. Are you premmed up? Have you got any?
I've got one of the Prem games. I've only got 3 picks. I've got 1 from Tuesday night and 2 from Wednesday.
Right, okay. So it sounds like we've got at least 5 or 6 different games to go for. The first game, I didn't well remember this because this is the first game off tomorrow. It's the early Tuesday game, or one of the 2 early Tuesday games. And I told everyone to remind me that we need to keep fading Slovan Bratislava. But I actually remembered myself. I think maybe because it was top of the list on this. So Tuesday at 5:45, so 12:45 Eastern time, is Slovan Bratislava against AC Milan. Slovan Bratislava 14-1. The draw 11-2 plus 550. And Milan are 1-5 minus 500. And it was just it was finding the best way to fade Bratislava because I watched them in that last game against Zagreb because I faded them then. And they did absolutely nothing to convince me that they're just going to be like a sieve at the back again. But they played 4, lost 4. They've conceded 5, 4, 2, and 4 in those 4 games. Zagreb are one of the top teams in this competition. Zagreb were absolutely all over them. They scored 4, could have scored 8. AC Milan lost the first 2, but won the last 2. They scored 3 times in those 2 wins. Against Bruges, and then 3 times against Real Madrid away from home last time. They can definitely score 3 times against Bratislava. It's not a bad price, but AC Milan team total over 2.5 is 4-5 minus 125.
Yeah, I didn't go for that one, but I did look at those sort of teams, the teams that you want to fade: Bratislava, Young Boys, Red Star, all of those lot, and none of them really made it onto my card in the end. But I don't mind your pick at all. Next up for me, I've got Bayern Munich versus PSG. Have you got the odds in front of you? So this is a Tuesday night one.
Yeah. They're not complicated, so I don't have to translate them. Munich are around about 1-2, minus 200. The draw is 7-2 plus 350. PSG are plus 425, 17-4, Baz.
Yeah, so I went to this one just because PSG are struggling a little bit in this tournament, and I think it could get worse from them here. They're sitting on just 4 points, having had 3 home games as well. So they've had, they've only had 1 game on the road so far, and one of the hardest ones coming up now. Defeats to Atletico and Arsenal. So they have had a tough start. Draw with PSV wasn't great, though, and just a 1-0 win over Girona in the first game in the competition. I think they're just a bit short of goals. PSG, only 3 goals scored in their 4 Champions League games so far. Bayern aren't flying themselves necessarily, 6 points from their 4 games. Defeats to Barcelona and Villa on the road. But at home, they've won their 2. 1-0 over Benfica, 9-2 over Dynamo Zagreb. I think Bayern's home form's generally really good as well. They've not lost at home since March, when they had a defeat to Dortmund in the league. And they've only drawn twice in that time. Real Madrid got a draw there, and Leverkusen got a draw. Really solid at home, Bayern, and PSG are just struggling a little bit this season in the Champions League. I think PSG will struggle again here. I like Bayern to win. I'm going to take Bayern on the Asian handicap, -1 at 10-11. So what's that? -110. Yeah, so we push if Bayern win by a goal. We lose if PSG get anything. We need Bayern to win by a couple, but I like Bayern at home here to beat PSG.
Okay, like that. Slick Rick wants the Milan handicap along with the Barcelona handicap. Joe Bamba wanted the Milan handicap as well. Serial's talking about Brest. Keep it clean, Serial. Where are we going next? Do you want to? No, it's Megan. Right. So next up, then I've got 3 Premier League teams, as we said. Tuesday night, I think you might have a look at Manchester City, Baz. Man City are 1-5 here, -500 to beat Feyenoord. The draw is 6-1. Feyenoord are out there at 12-1. So Man City kept 3 clean sheets in the first 3 games of this competition. But they've just gone to shit, haven't they? They got spanked 4-1 by Lisbon. They got spanked 4-0 at the weekend. They can't defend for toffee. When was the last time they kept a Premier League clean sheet? I think they beat Southampton 1-0, didn't they? But clean sheets are absolutely few and far between. And effectively, that was my handicap here. Once I saw the price bars, you might be surprised at this. Feyenoord have won 2 and lost 2. The 2 games they've won were both away from home. 3-2 at Girona and 3-1 at Benfica. So they scored 3 goals away from home twice. And would you not be tempted by Feyenoord over half a goal then, Barry? Would you back Man City to keep a clean sheet here?
I've got 3 in the Champions League already. I just didn't want to touch the game. I didn't want to get involved in the game at all.
I just don't know why. Why would they keep a clean sheet? They've conceded 4 in their last Champions League game. They conceded 4 in their last league game. Feyenoord have scored 3 twice away from home. Over half a goal. And at the prices, I wouldn't back them at 1-2. They're 4-5 to score a goal. Absolutely incredible. So Feyenoord to get on the score sheet. If you want to ladder it up, Feyenoord to score twice is 9-2 plus 450. I wouldn't put you off that at all. As long as my arse points south, I don't know why Man City would keep a clean sheet here, but
fair enough. I wouldn't talk anyone out of anything. I just didn't want to get involved in the game.
Ling knows he's all over it. He's all over it.
Is that you done with the Tuesday games?
I don't know.
To keep things chronological.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll jump in next then because you'll have this game covered as well. So it's Liverpool versus Real Madrid. I'm assuming you've got the prices there for me.
Demanding, Barry. You've had the afternoon off, haven't you? Written these down. Liverpool are 11-13 minus 117. The draw is 14-5 plus 280. Real Madrid 29-10 plus 290.
Yeah, so Liverpool still the only team 100% in the tournament. Real Madrid already lost twice and seem to be hanging on a little bit in terms of the qualification. I'm sure they'll be fine, but 4 points from 4 isn't a great start. And you could very easily see them going 4 points from 5, with a really tough game away at Anfield. Defensively, they've not been on it. They've no clean sheet yet in this tournament. Conceded 3 against Milan, 2 against Dortmund, and Lille and Stuttgart both got a goal against them. I actually think Liverpool are a decent price. I was tempted just to take Liverpool to win 70, just under evens, I think, was the price. But in the end, I went for goals. I think there is goals in this one. Real struggling defensively in the tournament. I think Liverpool can get at least a couple, but that's a short price. I think it was about 4-6 or 8-13 or something. I reckon Real Madrid will get involved, and I think goals at both ends. It was the way to go for me. Liverpool games have seen over 3.5 hit twice out of their 4 games so far, and Real have seen the over 3.5 hit 3 out of their 4. That's where I've gone. It's a nice plus money price, over 3.5 goals here at 13-10. So Liverpool via Real Madrid, over 3.5 goals, 13-10 is my pick.
Yes, the kids coming home from school, bars. If you hear any background kerfuffle, it's just Bob's arrived first, seen him mooching up the street. He looks freezing, bless him. So she'll be following along in 5 minutes. That's the key in the door. I just picked Liverpool, Baz. I don't need to go over all the stats that you just went over. And you said you very nearly picked Liverpool at that price. And that's exactly what I did. Madrid have been unconvincing away from home. 1-3 drawn. They're unbeaten. But they're conceding over a goal per game in the last 8. And remember the game they won. They were 2-0 down against Dortmund in that game as well. So they haven't been great. I just wanted to pick Liverpool on form. It just looked like a nice play. We do this a lot, don't we? The home team at around even money in a good position on form. Liverpool 11-13 minus 117. Michael's joined us. Michael, how you doing? No Vinny as well for Real Madrid. No Vinicius Jr. Michael points out. Good spot. Callum's joined us. Callum, come on, wakey. It's 3:10, man. Liverpool are going to breeze the game without Vinny, says Michael. So, yeah, I concur. I'm all over that. Next up, I've got Aston Villa, Baz. Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Aston Villa taking on Juventus. Aston Villa are 13-10. Plus 130. They draw 9-4 plus 225. Juventus 9-4 plus 225. I didn't want Villa against Palace, and we were correct. You didn't either. We were correct not to. And I don't want them here. If you don't want them against Palace, you don't want them against Juventus. Stands to reason. They won the first three, but they lost against Bruges. And the Champions League form is beginning to mirror their Premier League form. I think they're just off it on all fronts here. Juventus won their first two games. They then lost at home to Stockport and drew at Lille. They're sixth in Serie A, but they're actually unbeaten in their 13 league games at home. You look at six and you think they haven't had a great start. They're doing all right. They've won 6 and drawn 7. So as much as they haven't won that many games, they haven't lost any. So don't want to take Villa to beat them. If Juventus aren't losing, Villa at 13-10 is not an appealing price at all. I did struggle to find an angle in though, Baz. Juventus over plus half a goal in the Asian handicap. It's too short. If you're a rich man, crack on. It's 13-21, around about 4-6, minus 160. But Juventus draw no bet is 6-5 plus 120 on the double chance. I might just back Juventus at 9-4 plus 225. Some variation of Juventus involved. I just didn't want Villa, but
yeah, I looked at this one like you. I just couldn't get anywhere with any of it because I wanted to fade Villa as well. But then I looked at the Juventus form. It's all those draws that worry me. So I was hoping I would get a slightly better price on the draw no bet, which is obviously the same bet as that, plus half a goal. Not the draw no bet, the double chance. But as you say, it's just a little bit too short. Because double chance Juventus I would have really liked, but too short to make it as a pick. So I left the game alone in the end. But I don't mind your draw no bet pick at all. I think Juventus will get something. They just haven't got tons of goals in them, Juventus. So I think it could be a low scorer, but Juventus will get something.
Again, Michael's just asking about Vlahovic and his injury because he didn't play at the weekend. And I believe he's going to be out. I think Vlahovic and Douglas Luiz are both ruled out of that game. So, yeah, that would limit the Juventus goal threat just a little bit more. But
is that you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, so over to me then. I've got Celtic versus Club Brugge as my final game.
Celtic, they're on my no-bet list after the last twice, Barry. I've absolutely got them completely topsy-turvy. Totally wrong. So, yeah, nothing Celtic. I skipped past that one at speed.
Yeah, I thought you might have done. Because Celtic are going quite well and you keep fading them. Celtic are even money here, plus 100. The draw is 5-2, plus 250. And Club Brugge, 13-5 plus 260. Celtic, as I say, going well. New formats clearly suiting them so far. Always been a team to avoid in the Champions League generally, but not this season. 7 points from their 4 games. Got them in with a decent shout at getting through if they can just pick up a few more points. Bruges did have a really good win last time out against Villa in the last round of games, and they've got a win over Sturm Graz as well. So Bruges sitting on 6 points. With the only defeats coming against Milan and Dortmund. But I like the goals here. Celtic's home games, they've won 3-1 at home to Leipzig and 5-1 at home to Slovan Bratislava, who we know aren't very good. 8 goals scored in those 2 home games. And the total goals across the Celtic games, 4 games have seen 18 goals. Not many teams in this competition have seen that many goals across their 4 games. So Celtic at home, I think, are worth backing. And I think they can get a couple themselves. They've scored at least 2 goals in 10 straight games in all competitions. Now, I know some of that opposition is very weak, but the Leipzig result is really solid. Celtic just look a little bit better in this competition this year. And I'm going to take Celtic team total over 1.5 Celtic goals at 4-5.
I would rather not offer an opinion on Celtic. That large shadow that just passed by was number 1 daughter arriving, so the children are all home from school. My work is done. Yes, Callum, we have missed the whole show. So Coisty reckons, Coisty's our Scottish football expert, shall we say. Scottish told me to have a bridie at the weekend, but I didn't see the message till too late, Coisty, so I missed out on that. He says, someone's brutal away from home. Celtic are at home tomorrow, but he wants Bruges on the money line anyway. I think he's just happy to fade anything Scottish, which is fair. There you go. Oh, yeah, Coyce's asking if you missed the 4 for Bridie talk. Yeah, you did. Sorry, we talked about Scotch pies and we had pineapple things in Greg's Hill, but no Bridie's, mate. Right, I think that's it, Baz. I'm done. You have anything else to add? Tell us briefly about Saturday night gigging.
Oh, Saturday was good, yeah. We drove down to Birmingham, so the full family took the 2 kids. So it was Sophie's first proper gig. She's obviously done some of the rubbishy stuff that kids do, but yeah, 4 of us in the stand area. So we sneaked her in, 14 and over, innit, on the standing area. 12-year-old Sophie sneaked in. Cortina's really good, and the DMAs were supporting them. DMAs were good, worth looking out for.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out for them when they're touring on their own. So yes, I had a good night. I drove, so I was sober again. That's 2 weeks in a row I've been gigging sober.
Wow.
I don't know if I like it. I prefer it having a skin full of beer. But at the same time, if I haven't had a skin full of beer, I've realised I can stand for 3 hours without needing a piss. So that's a bonus.
Yeah.
You haven't got to go out and come back and try and like battle your way back to everyone. So that worked well. And then we finished off the night, went down the Balti Triangle in Birmingham for a proper Balti.
Oh, nice.
Finished off with a family curry at midnight, and then got home about 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, it was a very nice day.
Very good, Barry. You're a very cultured family.
One other thing we had, well, reviews, keep putting them in. We haven't had any on iTunes for a little while. Make sure you put your 5-star reviews in when you get a chance. See them on Spotify, just tick the 5-star. And Spotify now lets you put comments on. So if you are listening on Spotify, when you finish, it'll ask you if you've got any comments. And you can just say very good or brilliant. Or like Henry from Boston did last week, he told us he'd enjoyed the show, best around. So Henry from Boston, thank you for the nice comments. It didn't go unnoticed. And he'll have had a good weekend because he wants Liverpool to win the league. So yeah, keep putting those comments, likes, thumbs up on the YouTubes, all of that sort of stuff because it helps us out. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael wants to say thanks to you, Baz, for your Wolves pick. Happy with that.
Yes.
Connor and Bootle have joined us. Yeah, sorry lads, I'm going to the match tonight, and we didn't want to be too late, so you have missed the show. But just pretend you haven't and go back and watch it. No, quite a few YouTubers, YouTube comments. Logan messaged last week. DB123 messaged as well, and it was the other one. Oh, Big Mouth Rob wanted to know when the next show was. So if you can't join live, don't think we ignore you, just because you listen at a later date. So we appreciate all of that as well. Right, I reckon I've got time to crank out an hour's nap, Barry, before I get me long johns and all me clothes on to go and sit in the freezing cold and watch Newcastle absolutely annihilate West Ham 7-0. That's what's going to happen tonight.
Nice, enjoy it.
Beautiful. Right, good luck with all your picks. I reckon we'll be back on Thursday for Premier League. There is Friday night Prem this week. There's a South Coast derby before everything else. But good luck with all your bets. And until next time, we will see you all down the road. Cheers.